All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekly setup. So, let us break down 20 pairs and see what we have for next week. Now, next last week, guys, was absolutely brutal, right? Last week was absolutely brutal. All right, so coming over to my chart right now, before we break down the 20 pairs, let's cover this right here. Like, what was this last week? It was crazy because last week we took this trade on Monday, and pretty much 5 days it has still not gotten to 1:2 risk reward ratio, right? And there were some people on the Telegram who were actually very strong with me holding this trade for entire 5 days. This trade came to stop loss, literally almost to stop loss. 2 pips to stop loss. I had to check my broker to see if the stop loss activated, right? 2 pips to stop loss twice, right? 2 pips to stop loss twice, and we still held. So this trade last week taught me a lot about psychology and how you have to just let this market play out, right? So this is where we are currently at. I asked you guys, the last question I asked you guys was, what will you do right now? Like, what will you do right now? And I'm pretty sure 86% of you guys said we should close the trade. Crazy enough, me, I am part of this 14%, and I'm still holding until I get this my alert right here. So I just customize my alert, and you can see it's going to tell me, guys, if they take profit get hit, it's going to tell me, Zico, you passed the psychological test or the psychology test. So you guys might probably see this alert on Monday as soon as market is opening, or they are probably going to just reverse all the way down here. Which, what did I write here? Euro AED 5 day of emotional brutality with a touch of SL. I like to just like I just like to put a little bit of fun in a very brutal market, right? So this right here, Euro AUD, there's no need for me to analyze it this week, right? I don't care about Euro AUD because we are still in the trade. So we are going to just go over to Euro GBP and start our analysis from there, and then we'll continue all the way down, right? So we are going to be breaking down 20 pairs as usual using fxalexg set and forget strategy. And let us see what we have for this week. So as usual, we just delete everything, have a clearer perspective of the chart and see what we have there. All right, so daily time frame, right? So this is the daily time frame. Daily time frame is currently bullish in my opinion, right? All right, so this right here is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a little bit of area right here. So we'll check if it is valid. For now, let's just draw the area. So let's see how the weekly looks first. Weekly is bearish, right? Weekly is bearish. This right here is still a lower low, whether you like it or not, and this right here is the lower high. So this market structure is still bearish, right? All right, so let's go back to the daily. Now daily time frame is bullish because I'll still call this the higher high and this the higher low, right? Area of interest, the very valid one. We have 1, 2, 3 rejections from area. Oh, 4 rejections even from current area, right? So that is good. If I extend it to the left, you can see that there will be much more. There will be a little bit more, rejections from the same area. All right, so now let's see how the forward looks. Forward time frame. All right, forward time frame looks very, very bullish. So let's see. Forward time frame. Technically, it kind of looks bearish because this right here is the higher high. This is the highest point price went to, right? And the higher low for that is this right here. And because we broke under, it means this is now the lower low and this is the lower high. So for us to actually buy this market, if you are looking to buy, we still need a clear break above that high like this, and have like a break and retracement of that high for us to be interested in buying, right? We still need the market structure to be bullish for us to buy. Now is that a good sign? Because now I'm in this trade, Euro AUD, and what I'm just looking for is a little bit of pips to the downside, which means I need Euro to be weak at least, so that I can just get this my take profit, right? Meanwhile, this one is telling me to buy. So we are still going to be analyzing the pairs because this right here is the right thing to do. Let's see how the 1 hour looks on this market. I want to see something. All right, it will not be a bad trade for us to buy. So if we still have that break and retest above, I'll be interested in buying. So I'll be putting that as my second pair for the week because I'm still in Euro AUD, right? So first pair Euro AUD definitely might hit take profits. I mean, it's pretty much very close. I just need like 30 pips, right? Then Euro GBP, I'm looking for a break and retest above here to buy, pretty much, right? AUD USD, let's see what we have here. AUD USD daily time frame. We'll delete everything and let's see what we have. So AUD USD is, it depends on if this market is bullish or bearish. This might be the higher high and higher low, or this might be the higher high and this might be the higher low. So first of all, there's a confusion, but let's see how the weekly looks. Weekly, now weekly is clearly bullish, but we seem to be slowing down here, right? That doesn't mean that it's not continue bullish. It's just an observation. Market is now slowing down. The momentum it started with is not continuing with that momentum right now, right? But back to back, it has been bullish, and right now, this last week was now a doji. You see how that might be like a complete slowdown. Well, let's just see how it goes. Daily time frame for now, we have no clear direction, but it will make more sense to actually be looking for buys because clearly the market has been going upward, right? All right, now let's see how the 4 hour looks. 4 hour time frame. Hmm. 4 hour time frame. Here's what I'm thinking. I think maybe a 4 hour area of interest and a break above that area of interest to buy. That's what I'm thinking. Something just like this. A break above the area of interest to buy. Well, let's see how the daily looks again. Okay, daily we do not have any clear structure if this market is bullish or bearish. If this right here is the low, it means that if you have this break and retest, the market will be bullish again. But right, let me see. High, low, lowest, lower, low. Okay, we have this break and retest again. It means that this market will switch bullish. So either ways, if you have that break and retest, whether this market is bullish or bearish, we will still be bullish. Right? If this is the higher low, it means every other price action happening within here is bullish. If this now is now the higher high and this is the higher low, it means that we broke below and this is now the lower low and lower high. And if we break above again, it will still make this market bullish. So anyhow we twist it, it is still going to be bullish. So let's see how the 4 hour looks again. I'm trying to really understand this market very well. All right, man. It's freaking network, bro. All right, so 4 hour time frame. That's still pretty much the game plan, right? AUD USD break and retest above here to buy. So let's add it for this week. Here, I remember we are looking for buys, but we did not get the opportunity for some reason. I'm trying to remember why. Okay, so let's try to find out why first. So we had maybe some area right here or whatever, or maybe it's right here. Okay, this was the area, and right now we had a break retest. So I'm trying to see exactly why we did not get the opportunity. But I remember I did not trade this last week because I was still on Euro AUD. There's no need to add extra risks. So coming over to the 1 hour time frame, let's see. All right, in 1 hour time frame, I'm pretty much going to be waiting for a break and retest above this high, right? Even if this market structure is bearish, clearly it was a risky one, but the best way to play this risky trade is to wait for a break and retest. So it clearly seems like we never had that break and retest above. So loss avoided. All right, so now let's see what we have in the market. Yeah, Euro USD have just shifted bearish, whether you like it or not, right? It's bearish, and we have an area of interest right here at where current market price is. Weekly time frame, we went to the upside very strongly and we rejected down very strongly, and now we are currently at weekly area too as well. So as you can see, this is a daily and a weekly area. So this is pretty much the combo you try to look for, right? The combo you try to look for, weekly and daily area of interest in the same place, is a very strong area. So that's how you know that this is a very, very strong area of interest, right? So weekly and daily in the same place. But right now, daily, oh no, daily is bullish. Sorry, daily is even bullish, by the way, right? I was counting this at the higher high and higher low, but clearly that's not the highest point. This is the highest point, right? So the daily time frame is still bullish. Sorry about that. So now 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. Well, technically, if you are going to be looking at it as it is right now, it's actually bullish. It's crazy that it's actually bullish, but I'm telling you right now, I cannot buy from here. I cannot buy from here. I need to look for a cleaner price or price point to buy from. So let us look for that. I think this right here might be a better point. So let me draw it. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing. All right, so this minor area right here, we came to that area before. About this is the 4 hour time frame, right? So it means that how many hours is this? So this is about 2 days, right? So 2 days, price was really struggling to break this area for 2 days before it finally broke it. And when it broke it with momentum. When we were coming up again, we reacted from that point once, twice, 3 times before we finally broke it again. When we came back down into the area, we clearly, I don't know, I think this might actually be like a CPI or news candle or NFP, something like that. And it came back down to reject from this same area again, right? So we had a little bit of rejection right here, and seems like price is now clearly below. So I don't want to really buy right into that area, right? That area is proving to be strong, at least to some extent. So for me to buy, I think I'll still wait for a break and retest. I don't know how it's going to be. The formation is not it's not looking clean right now. But maybe before we get to that area, which is around this area price point, because we still need a little bit of more price action. Before we get to this area, I'll update you guys on the Telegram to know exactly what we are going to do on that market. But this market still looks like it needs a little bit more price action for me to be interested in buying. Right? Let's see how the 1 hour looks. Well, of course, 1 hour will not really have all the data we need because we still need a little bit more price action, especially on this the 4 hour time frame. So for us to be interested, I'll be looking for buys once price gets here. Now again, this is showing me what? That euro is going to be strong, right? It's going to be strong, which is pretty much bad for my trade, euro AUD, right? But of course, we don't do pair correlations, right? So that is the reason I'll still be holding that trade till final take profit. By the way, it doesn't really mean that from right now, price is just going to push up. No, it just means that until price gets to here before I'll be interested. Euro AUD, euro can actually come down first or whatever, right? All I'm looking for is like 30 pips or thereabout on euro AUD for me to hit final take profit, right? All right, so I think that is that for euro AUD. But I don't know if to add it for this week yet. I'm still deciding, so I'll keep it close to decide. GBP USD, pretty much the same thing. Like, so if you look at GBP USD, since we have not deleted it, right? So we are looking for a break and retest. That is the same thing I was looking for last week on Euro USD, and you can clearly see it never really happened. So that's how we avoided that loss, right? It's not magic. All right, so now let's go over to the daily time frame and delete what we have to see a cleaner trade, right? So this right here, I will not be interested in this market. I can already tell that this market needs a little bit of retracement back into here because this market is, well, still bullish, but it broke this last structure. But this market structure is clearly bullish. I'm not interested in this market. I don't like it. It's similar to Euro USD, but Euro USD is cleaner to me. NZD card. All right, NZD card. I think I remember this pair from last week where we had a very major resistance level, right? And this is actually a weekly. So let's go to the weekly. A weekly resistance level, as you can clearly see. So this area right here, maybe you don't know how long it is because this is the weekly time frame, right? This area right here has held price for over 203 days, and is really struggling to break that area. And right now, just look at what happened last week. So last week might just be the confirmation for us to enter this week. I told you guys that we were buying very strongly. When we were slowing down to area, we had a doji. So I told you guys we might actually sell, but we'll be looking for a cleaner structure to sell from. And last week was an engulfing that engulfed that doji and the previous week before that doji, right? So this area of interest or major weekly resistance level is a very strong one, right? So let's see how the daily looks. Now, daily time frame, you can clearly see that one day, one day engulfed about let's see how long, about 8 days. So one day engulfed entire 8 days of price action. Very, very strong. Very, very strong. So, but is this market bullish or bearish? Well, this right here, this right here is the lowest point, right? And this right here was the high point for that. It means that this market is currently bearish, right? It means that this market is currently bearish. All right, so it means we'll be looking for sells because we have a very strong weekly resistance. Then we have a daily market structure that is bearish, and by the way, the sellers seem to be stronger than the buyers. And now let's see how the 4 hour looks. Now, 4 hour time frame. All right, now 4 hour time frame is actually currently bullish, right? Now, whether you like it or not, this right here was the lowest point and this was the high point for that, right? But we are currently above that high point because we actually use the bodies, not the wicks, right? So we'll count this as the body. So I think that is actually very good information because right now it means we don't have to rush or FOMO into the trade, even if you know that this trade is about to sell, right? What we can do right here is to just, I'll bring down this area a little bit more. So this area, I want to bring it down a little bit more, right? To accommodate these reactions from here. So we still have clear reactions, as you can clearly see. And now we now have clear reactions from what market is currently doing right now, right? So I think that is actually safer, right? Now, this market structure now is now bullish, and I don't want to fall for this, so that's why I'm trying to be careful, right? Right here, he had the break and the retracement, as you can clearly see, he just bought up again. So I'm trying to avoid that same thing that happened here, right? So we'll be careful and see what happens. Now, 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame. The best way to play this market. The best way, I know where my stop loss is supposed to be, but I don't know where to enter. As you can see now, this market is right here. To me, this is the lowest point, lower high, and prices have actually closed candles above that level, right? All right, so here's what I'll just do instead. If we can have a break and retest under this level, I'll be interested. By the way, the EMA is going to be holding it as resistance at that point. We have a round psychological level here because I saw it 1 point, no, 0.81600, right? So let's draw it 600, right? And if you have a break and retest, we'll likely break this low, which will just confirm that this market is bearish, right? Something just like this, retracement to sell. Now, when we are putting our stop loss, if we are entering here, we'll now be putting our stop loss above this high. Now, you know why it's very important, because this area of interest is a 4-hour minor area of interest, right? Which means it's strong enough to hold price. So if our stop loss is above, it will be safer, so that our stop loss don't get hit, right? So that actually makes sense. I'll be interested in this market this week. AUD JPY, next pair. Let's see what we have there. Now, AUD JPY, at some point I remember trying to sell this market, but it decided to not sell, and that means that now we are technically still bearish on this time frame, which is the daily. Let's see what we have. By the way, let's just see what we have. So first of all, daily time frame is bearish. Overall market structure is clearly bullish. It will be more safer. Which one is more safer, right? You can't just say because this broke under this low, it now means that this market must be bearish and you must sell. The overall market direction is showing that AUD has clearly been stronger than JPY for how many days back to back? You understand? So which one is more safer? Do you understand? So I'm not asking you to break your rules, but it's just something you need to read and understand from the market, right? It just shows that last week it was just a bearish week. That's why the market seemed to be shifting structure on the daily time frame. That week was just bearish week. Now, but back-to-back weeks has been bullish. Which one makes more sense, right? Which one makes more sense? I've seen AlexG do this time and time again, but people are not really like reading it. They will come to my comment section, especially that guy. There's one particular guy. He will come to my comment section and be telling me I have to go and learn the set and forget strategy. Where, bro, I'm reading the market on what is happening, right? And then let's see what the day 4 hour is doing. 4 hour time frame from the EME, you can even tell that this market is now bullish, right? So, but let's come close and see. This market, well, to me, this market to continue buying because I can just see the overall market structure. But where to enter from right now, I can't really give you that information, right? So I'm not really interested in this market just because I don't know where to buy from. Area of interest is not there. It's not up to 3 taps. There's an area right here for a break and retest above, but it's not up to 3 taps, so it's not valid, right? So that pair I cannot trade it this week. NZD USD. So pretty much looks like we are looking for sales, and you can clearly see that this market is selling. Let us see what we have right now. So daily time frame. Daily time frame is clearly bullish. Here is clearly the higher high, higher low. Whatever price action is happening within this area, within this high and this low, is a bullish market. Weekly time frame, currently at weekly resistance level now, which shows that this market could sell. Now notice how these two time frames are moving opposite. Weekly is telling us that this market could have a much more deeper retracement to around this level, at least to this structure point right here, because it has done that before, as you can clearly see. Multiple rejections to the upside. If we are above, we are buying just like this, and if we are below, we seem to be reacting even right now. So weekly showing us bearish signs. Daily has had multiple reactions. I think this is very similar to one of these pairs I called. I think it's the NZD card for sales. Anyway, let's see how the 4 hour looks. 4 hour time frame. I think this market is actually way more better if we can sell it. So 4 hour time frame, a cleaner break and retest under this level will be better for buys, for sales, right? I'll just keep it close. I haven't made a major decision on what to do exactly yet. I know exactly what to do, but I haven't made a decision if to add it for this week. That's what I mean. Sorry. Which other pair? USD JPY. Daily time frame. All right. This price action, I can't. It's just going up and down. If you look at the weekly, bullish week, bearish week, bullish week, right? I can't really like read. I need slow down and bullish weeks. Slow down and bullish weeks, not bullish week, bearish week, bullish week. You cannot just predict that the next week will not be bearish again. So right now, USD JPY, I'm not interested. A GBP card. All right, now GBP card. Let's delete everything. Let's see what we have now. GBP card. This time frame is, first of all, very choppy, but if this is the highest point the price has gone to, then the lower high is probably this. Then we broke below that, and this was the lowest point, and we broke above. It means that this market is still bullish, but right now we are selling. So which means for this market to be bearish, we need a break under this low. Now let's see how the daily looks. Then now the daily is looking more bearish to me. Let me draw this area of interest like is the daily time frame to see what is really there. I'll bring down this level down to accommodate more reactions from this area. So let me come a little bit closer. Let's see what we have there exactly. Now, daily time frame, rejection, rejection, rejection clearly is already valid. Multiple rejections right here, and seems like price is approaching that level. Now, if this market wants to continue bullish, it should pretty much start buying right now. It should start buying right now. But if price start having that break and retest under this level, I'm pretty much going to be interested in selling. I am going to be interested in selling if price have that break and retest under that level, because that will mean that weekly time frame switch bearish, right? Then daily time frame is already bearish right now. By the way, it's already bearish right now. So if you have that break and retest, it means it's continue bearish. Then 4 hour time frame seems like 4 hour time frame is also bearish. So we have all three time frames telling us bearish, and we'll be interested in selling. So we'll be having a break retracement to sell. So we also have a round psychological level here. So let's draw it 1.85, 1.835 thousand or 500. Oh, okay, we have it here. So right there. So we have a round psychological level there. So, but we still need a little bit more price action. We still need that break and retest of this major daily area of interest, right? I like this pair. I'll add it for this week to see how it goes. GBP NZD next pair. We delete everything. Let's see what we really have here. GBP NZD, I'm not interested. I think we have much more better pairs to be paying attention to whatever is happening here. Let's just see. I just want to really see how he's looking, but before I make a decision. But what is my thought process on this market? I just pretty much believe that this market could sell, right, from this major area. And the best way to play it is to wait for a break on this low, right? So if you can break that low first, this low, then have a retracement, then we can sell to at least this 4 hour structure point. Let me see how the 1 hour looks. So 1 hour time frame looks like like he's still going to continue bearish, and it makes sense if you have that same break and retest, right? I don't know, man. Should I add this thing for this week? Again, let's not waste time. Let's just keep it close to see. USD card next pair. Daily time frame. So I think we caught a sell from USD card from here, right? It looks very familiar, right? I think we caught a sell from USD card. If I check the Telegram, it's probably there. Right now we are at that area again. Yeah, we definitely caught a sales. I remember this very well. We had a left head, right shoulder right here, and we sold. So USD card, I don't really have much information on this market, and I don't think I'm adding it for this week. But I think that this market could still sell just the same way it has sold here and it has sold here before. It's just market repeating itself, right? Right now, I'm not really interested. I don't know what to do on USD card. NZD, Euro NZD. Euro NZD. Daily time frame. Daily time frame is bearish. Lower low, lower high right here. Weekly time frame seems to be having an engulfing right now to buy. At least to create that lower high to sell, right? But I will not be interested in any counter trend trades. Daily time frame is bearish, but it's all over the place. Let's see how the 4 hour looks now. 4 hour time frame. Listen, 4 hour time frame, if I'm the one, to make more sense if I will sell this market, to be honest. Right? If you can have a break and retest under here to sell. This is a 4 hour area of interest, by the way, so it's not really as strong as the weekly, but I think this is not so much of a hideous trade. But I don't know if I'm going to add it for this week. I highly doubt because it seems like we have other better pairs to add, right? Let's see what GPP JPY is doing for us this week. Let's delete everything. GPP JPY currently might actually be, you know, no. All right, I cannot really read this market structure on the daily. First of all, weekly time frame had a very strong weekly engulfing that engulfed multiple weeks, right? Now let's see how the 4 hour looks. Now 4 hour time frame seems to be shifting structure bullish. All right, so let me look at this again. So weekly time frame is what? Overall market direction is bullish. Last week had a very strong sell pressure. Now daily time frame. Oh, and after the sell pressure, the last week, sorry, this is actually the last week, right? The last week now had like a doji or a clear slowdown at least, and the buyers were in control of last week at least, because it's a blue candle, right? Now daily time frame is this is actually the lowest point. If you look at this market structure, well, let me come closer so that I'll show you guys. This point is lower than this point. So this is clearly the lower low, and this is the lower high for this market. All right. So let me extend this area of interest to the left to see if we have reactions. No clear reactions. No clear reactions. Now 4 hour time frame is now telling me that we are having a left, not so clean, but you can clearly see like a left head right shoulder, sorry, inverted left head right shoulder. And if we can have a break and retest above here to buy, is a valid trade, because now if we have this break and retest, the daily time frame will actually shift bullish, because it means that we're breaking above this high, right? If you can break above this high, it means that this market is now bullish. By the way, hear me, at that period in time might be holding price as support on the daily time frame, by the way, right? 1 hour time frame for now is still pretty much bearish, so we still need that price action above. I don't know if to add it for this week. Keep it close. Euro JPY daily time frame, delete everything. Let's see what we have there. Now Euro JPY is now showing me bearish signs. Now I don't really like when JPY pairs are showing me opposite directions, right? Now, but let's just analyze to see. Now daily time frame in this case is very very clearly bearish, right? Lower low, lower high. Area of interest very clean. Multiple rejections, 1 2 3 4, and probably rejecting right now. Weekly time frame is having a reaction back to weekly structure point. So this is the last weekly structure point. So we broke that structure point, and now we are retesting the structure point. It's the same thing as something like this, the exact same thing. So if I bring it out, you see that it's the same thing, right? So on usual day, you look for an area around here to potentially continue selling, right? It's the same thing. So that's what I'm seeing right now. Let's see how is it the 4 hour? 4 hour in this case clearly bullish. 4 hour is bullish. I'm not really interested in this market that much, right? I like the combo of daily, 4 hour and 1 hour. If 4 hour is bullish, I don't want to go against. I don't know how. It's just a thing where I have seen multiple trades where the 4 hour was not in support and I just hit SL, right? So I'm not really that much interested like I was previously. right? Well, it still has the potential of selling and rejecting from this area to the downside, but I don't think I'll be interested in this market. GBP AUD, this was a much better trade for us to take last week instead of that Euro AUD, because we clearly sold to the downside multiple times anyway. Now, weekly time frame bearish clearly, daily bearish, 4 hour also bearish, but I think I know why we did not take this market. It actually did have the entry. It had the entry right here. This right here is the entry. Let me see if this trade would have hit AP. So this right here is what? Higher high, break, not so clean. So I'll wait for a cleaner break just like this. It's the same thing with Euro AUD. I'm just seeing it right now. So we'll be waiting for a break under this level, retracement and engulfing. So this right here is the entry. So let's see how it works. Let's see how it goes. Stop loss is definitely going to be above this high, not here, because we still have multiple price action here. So I would like to keep it above here. Then to avoid weak out, let's see how the 30 minutes is looking. To avoid weak out, I'll now mark this high so that I'll not get weaked out. So I can just keep my stop loss around where it is right now. So let's see how it went if he finally got to take profit. Target 1 is to 2 as usual. So as you can see, this one actually still did not get to final take profit. It's so very close right now. It's so very close, and this was on Tuesday actually. So I'm not mad about this trade. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, let us see what we have next week. Right now, seems like market is clearly bearish. We could look for a retracement back into this area to sell, but it's not that clean. We cannot force it, right? We cannot force it. GBP CHF, let's see what we have there. GBP CHF, I'm not really interested in this market until we are buying. Right now, we are just clearly selling, so I'm not interested. Now, NZD Okay, now we'll see what we have here now. Daily time frame is what? Bearish, right? Daily time frame is bearish, but let us see. Area of interest is this one right here. So multiple reactions from this area. Price is currently trading above that area. So far, I'm actually tilting towards buying this market, but I'll explain. Let's see. Let's just continue seeing what we have first. Weekly time frame. Again, the reason daily time frame is actually bearish because of this week was just a very bearish week. Right now, we're having a slowdown. Well, and last week, the bulls were actually in control of last week, even if it was a tight one, right? Okay, so we have a weekly and daily area. 4 hour time frame is now still currently bearish until we break above this high. My own opinion. Now, you might not really agree with me with this particular trade, this NZD JPY and that other JPY pair I called. I think it was GBP JPY. I don't think you will agree with me, but I believe that this market could actually buy. Right? I believe that if you have a clear break and retest above here, you could actually buy this market. So I'll also keep it close. AUD card. Looks like we are looking for buys on this market, and you can see we are buying. Let's see what we have right now. All right, we are at the highest points. Nothing we can pretty much do at this market, right? Let's see how the 1 hour just looks. 1 hour to continue buying. We at least need a retracement here and engulfing to continue buying. But I'm not interested in this market. CAD JPY last pair. Daily time frame. Okay, I'm not interested. All right, so I'll create a shorter version of this video to kind of explain this, but it seems like we have multiple pairs next week. So we'll be choosing the best on that video to know exactly which trades we are definitely going to take. But Euro AUD, I'm still on that trade, so you must hit take profits, right? Like somebody said, I'm stubborn. That I know the he was saying I'm stubborn, I'm not going to close. And yes, I did not close, right? Until he take profit. So that's pretty much it. Let's create the shorter version. Let's see exactly what we have and the pairs that we're definitely going to be trading next week. But we have good opportunities on these pairs right here that I just finished calling, right? So that's pretty much it, guys, and I'll see you guys on that video.